Hello. Let me just. Why do high achieving women struggle with sales? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me just fix the title here, check if everything is working. Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Hope everyone is doing well. So, today we're talking about why high achieving women struggle with sales. And this is a topic that is so important to address because what I notice is that a lot of the women that I speak with and that also enter into either the Identity Sales Accelerator and also the Sales Intensive, they are all high achieving women. I'm also a high achieving woman. Have had my own struggle with selling, learning how to sell, and still on the journey of mastery. Um, so we're gonna talk about that. Actually, we're gonna struggle with sales. All right. So if you are watching this live, just comment hashtag live. If you are watching the replay, that's also fine. Comment hashtag replay. Just want to see if you are there. Okay, so let's get into it. And why is it so important to talk about? So obviously, you've noticed by now, because you've sold before, you've sold something high ticket before, that the one way to get revenue into your business is through sales, right? So content is going to activate people. Getting someone on a call still requires closing skills to be able to receive the financial value for the service that you are going to deliver. So, closing skills, sales skills, being able to book calls through conversations, whether it's in the DMs, in email, through SMS, these are super important sales skills. Um, the reason why high achieving women struggle with this is because closing, selling, it's asking us to sit in discomfort. It's exposing us to being seen. And it's also asking you to lead with conviction. And it's not that you don't have the ability to do any of these things. The reality is that a lot of us, the way we grew up, was that we were told that we get rewarded for example, our academic performance, or we are told to be the good girl. So just be great, be exceptional, but don't be too much. Don't ask for things. Don't make yourself be seen, basically, right? Like, it's okay for you as a woman to be in the background while being exceptional at what you do. So this is how we grow up, right? We go to school, we perform, we get amazing jobs where we can get consistent external validation from others, like, hey, you're doing really well. Here is a promotion. We do want you to, be more comfortable when you're speaking in front of the crowd. So you will always get that level of feedback as well. Like, hey, you're actually really good at what you do, but whenever you have to present it, like, we see a gap in your confidence levels. It's a common feedback that a lot of women get. So you can see this is just like it bleeds over as well when you start a business. And you see this in the fact that a lot of women, like coaches, consultants, agency owners, you are really comfortable when someone comes to you and they say, hey, I saw that piece of content you posted. I really see the value in what you do, and I want to work with you. And that gives you a boost because you're like, wow, like, this person sees the value in me, they want to work with me. And it's also a way of getting that validation from someone else. Sorry, I hope discussing thing about. You get validation from people outside of your own, right? So that's why women love inbound leads. Women love inbounds. I mean, inbounds are nice, right? But why is there such a love for inbounds? Is because you feel like, oh, they see my value and they come to me, and I feel great because I'm getting that external validation. However, um, that's not going to be the reality of business always. Even when you get an inbound lead, you're still going to have to go on a call with them. You still have to do a presentation. You still have to close, right? Because that's how sales is made. It's not true someone being excited, someone saying yes. It's also that financial commitment that comes when they say yes. That's what sales and closing is about. A lot of times, what do I see happen with women that, they're already selling, but perhaps they want to increase their price, or they want to have a more boundaries as well in sales, is that part when they mention the investment and someone says, oh, it's too expensive, or oh, like, mm, doubting, etc., it literally feels so unsafe in their bodies that they just want to avoid the activity altogether. And this is a problem because you don't grow as a human being. You don't get better at selling, at having conversations through avoidance. What happens when you avoid is that you're basically confirming the story that you're telling yourself, that it's not your place to be that person that's going to either challenge or to be that person that can increase her prices without actually having to add more value on top of it. You keep telling yourself, oh, I just need another course, I need to be a better coach, or I need to up level my expertise even more so that I can close more and more deals. But I just want you to realize that as a high achieving woman, our tendency is to kind of like over intellectualize and over compensate, right? Like you try to overcompensate, you try to over explain on a call, you try to up level your skill. I mean, up leveling your skills is always good, but it comes to a point where, do you have the skills right now to deliver results for people in alignment with what the core promise of your offer is? Because if the answer to that is yes, then you are just telling yourself that story again of, oh, I need to be better at X, Y, and Z so that I can sell more. And this is why a lot of high achieving women struggle with sales as well. So what is actually the solution for this? And I have to be honest, there is a part of it that is strategy, and there is a part of it that is purely embodiment. The strategy side of it is the following. So most women have either learned how to sell. I've also learned how to sell from men. Or most women have been taught really sleazy sales tactics. So that story again of like, oh, in order for me to sell, I need to manipulate people, or I need to use all these sales psychology tricks, or I have to. I was speaking with someone the other day, and she was mentioning um, how she was taught how to sell by telling people, hey, I'm gonna do a content audit for you, but then on the call it would just immediately turn into a sales call, right? So just being dishonest that you're actually selling. And it's actually insane if you think about it, that on the one hand you have high achieving women, so women that know what they're talking about, women that are good at delivering results, women that have a clear vision for their business, women that move fast in actualizing it. And then you have the other end of like actually seeing how sales is being taught and how they are learning how to sell, which is like completely out of alignment with who it is that they are. And that is the gap that we need to close. And as I said, it's partly strategy and it's also more embodiment. So let's address the strategic part of it. When it comes to selling, the one thing you have to understand is that yes, there is going to be a period where you have to hustle. And why is it that you have to hustle? Because you need repetition in order to feel comfortable with having conversations with people. And if you want to learn fast, you have to move fast as well, right? So it's not about the volume thing. It's not about having high output in that sense. It's really about consistently having conversations with people. So you need a strategy that allows you to have conversations with people each day. Everyone has their magic numbers. With the ladies in Identity Sales Accelerator right now, we are doing a 10K in 30 days sprint. And everyone, including myself, we all have our daily number. How many conversations are you going to have each day so that you can book the calls needed so that you can close that 10K. So that's the strategy part. You need to be having conversations with people every day. What I see happening a lot of the times is that before the conversation has already happened, people are procrastinating on actually taking the action because of the stories, because of the beliefs, because of the thoughts, right? So the thoughts. I'm not good enough. People are gonna leave me on red. People are gonna ignore me. People don't see the value in what I do. And I just find that crazy because we know that we are good at what we do. You know that when someone enters your world, they get mind blowing results. So, why is it that when we have to step into that role of actually claiming that outcome, of actually claiming that we can help people, right? That all of a sudden the stories are so negative. And a lot of the times it's because our bodies just don't feel safe. Our bodies don't feel safe in dealing with in rejection, right? So we think that as someone saying no, that it means that we are not good enough. Our bodies just don't feel safe in that, and that's a problem because in sales you're going to get a lot of no's. In high ticket sales you're going to hear a lot of no's, right? Look at where the industry is right now. How many people have you been on a call with that have said, I don't know, I really like what you do, but I don't know if I can do it because I've been burned before. That's just the reality, right? So all of us exist within that context. So we have to address those gaps that are hindering our performance for us to be generating revenue in our business. And it actually starts with your body. And what I mean with that is that as high achieving women, we are a lot of times here. We are in our heads about things. We are over intellectualizing things. We are I saw something and I lost my train of thought. We are trying to rationalize and we are trying to think our way through selling. Sales is a combination of hard and soft skills. And what I mean with that is that it's also asking you to really be in tune with your body, and to really be in tune with the energy that you are bringing into things. Then we get into the part of strategy. So, I mean, embodiment. So, we just spoke about strategy. You need to be having conversations with people, you need to be having conversations with the right people, and you also just need to learn how you're going to structure your conversation so you can close. That's not enough for high achieving women. Embodiment is one of the most important things that you have to feel into. And when I say embodiment, what I'm talking about is that connection with your body. And it's not necessarily rationalizing your offer in terms of why is your offer good, but it's that deep inner knowing that you have about yourself and your conviction that when this person invest in your offer, that they are going to, let me just see this, that they are going to get the result they are looking for. They are going to get that transformation and that you are able to deliver on that as well. That's conviction, right? And also that conviction of, I know what your vision is. I have been there. I have helped other people get to those outcomes as well. So I know for a fact that I can help you. That's conviction. And it's not something you can rationalize, right? Because you know the facts. It's not about knowing the facts. It's about when someone says it's too expensive, how you feel at that moment, despite knowing the facts. So that is what embodiment is about. And embodiment is something that for all of us, it's a deeply personal personal journey. It starts with that. That's what I love about sales so much, because it really forced me to break up with the stories. Because a lot of the times, what do? We bring our childhood wounds into our business. And that is totally normal, because you're a human being, right? You're a service provider. You are a person. You have your past, obviously you have your present, and you have your future. So it's difficult to separate yourself as the person from your business, because you're the one that's actually running the business, right? However, the not however, and the beautiful thing about learning how to sell is that you have to leap into embodiment, because if you don't do it, what do? You contract. And when you contract, what happens when someone is on a call with you and they say, hey, it's too expensive, or hey, I need to think about it, your body is just like not able to even handle it, because at that moment you think, oh, let me think through this, but it's not what that person also needs, right? They need conviction from you, and they need certainty from you. And that's something that you have to develop in your body. And the first thing you start to do is you have to feel safe with setting boundaries. And you're like, why is she talking about setting boundaries? When you learn how to set boundaries, you learn that no is safe. Hearing no, saying no, it's safe, right? No one's going to eat you alive. Nothing happens. You are safe. So you have to learn how to set boundaries in your own life in order for you to also be able to embody sales more. The second thing as well is you have to learn how to implement daily practices. So I remember back then when I was really having a hard time with being on calls and holding space for uncertainty, because that's actually what happens, right? Like, so you're on a call with someone, it gets uncomfortable, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to move the conversation forward, so you start to lean towards the pushy scripts. It really started with being aware of the energy that I was holding and consciously coming up with activities that I could do before the call, for example, so that I could be in that energetic space, right? The other thing, now going back to strategy, is that, and this is what we are going to talk about as well in tomorrow's workshop. So if you haven't registered yet, just make sure that you do register. And this is also what I teach in the 6-week sales leadership intensive. So make sure that if you're ready, if you're feeling like, hey, I want to elevate my sales system, I want to close more deals, because let's be honest, being at 3K is really not enough for you to live off of your business and to continue reinvesting in its growth, then you can just DM me and we can have that conversation. This is what I will teach in the workshop as well tomorrow, which is really understanding that you have to learn how to position yourself in the marketplace. All of us need to do that. It's not a negotiable thing anymore. You need to understand how you're different from everyone else. The second thing as well is you need to start qualifying your leads better, because look, there's a part of sales that it's you having to develop your skill. At the same time, not everyone should be on a call with you, right? So if someone cannot even afford to make a high ticket investment, they should not be on a call with you. If someone currently isn't aware that they have a problem or isn't really focusing on fixing that, they should not be on a call with you. So that's also that part. Like, okay, so if you're a high achieving woman, like, let's also have high standards that match our high achievingness. Okay, so having high standards, have qualifying better, knowing where you stand in the marketplace, and also just embodying leadership, embodying that woman that is delivering those results already, right? So it's not about the fact that you see on paper, but it's also about feeling it in your body and bringing that energy on call. So that's also what we are going to talk about in terms of closing. So if I can, give a summary of this. leadership is such the important aspect of your entrepreneurial journey for you to develop. And the beautiful thing about sales is that you are forced with a decision of if you're going to expand or if you're going to contract, right? Because let's be honest, like you can see on your feed how many people are, not active anymore, not posting anymore, and it's sales. Like honestly, it's really sales, because it's that time where people could just get clients from content, it's past. Like I get inbounds from my content is doing that work for me, but it doesn't close. You know that as well, right? And you also know that you can't sit and wait for people to come to you. So I'm really extending this invitation to you. If you are serious about growing your business further, if you're serious about being seen as the premium coach, consultant, or agency owner that you are, to really elevate your sales skills and to elevate your standards, right? This is really a thing about standards. So come to the workshop tomorrow. So just DM me for the link or DM me intensive, and we can talk about how to enroll you inside of the sales intensive. And